What is up, big timers? Today is a big day. Hopefully it's just as exciting for y'all as it is for me. I've been working on this plan for a couple years now, and today is the first proactive step towards this plan. Today is the day that we go look at a truck we've been looking at, and if all works out, we're gonna be buying it. And the plan is to be taking this truck on a gap year right after I get out of high school. I'm not gonna go straight into college. I'm going to go on a gap year, try to get this YouTube channel up to speed, something that I can, you know, kind of live off of. I'm gonna be sleeping in this truck. It's got a long bed, and I'm gonna put a cap or a camper over it, and I'm gonna be sleeping in it and living in it and fishing out of it, pulling my boat in it for a year right after high school. Today is the first step to that plan. We've test driven it once.
What's up, big timers?
So we found it on what was it? Was it Car Gurus? Car Gurus. And yeah, it just kind of went along from there. It's a 2009 2500 Silverado, gas with 54 or 56,000 miles.
Something. Yeah, a CNG tank on it.
Yeah.
Compressed natural gas tank. That will probably be an episode of us trying to figure out how to take it out.
Yep. So there's some stuff to figure out there. You're just along for the ride. We don't know what's going to happen today.
We don't know what's going to happen at all.
Stay tuned.
Since we're purchasing the vehicle in Dallas, I'm hoping that this is like the ugliest place where this vehicle ends up. Maybe, you know, it deserves to be in the mountains. Maybe on a fly fishing stream somewhere. Maybe catching like a double-digit bass or something like that. This vehicle deserves to be somewhere other than Dallas. If you're from Dallas, I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
All right, y'all. So we finally made it. You know, in Dallas, if you want to go 8 miles, it takes 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So I just basically found a place close by that didn't look so super ghetto to do a pre-purchase inspection for this truck. You know, a lot of people who are watching are probably younger than me and will probably end up buying a car pretty soon too, if you don't already have a car. So if you're gonna go this route with a cash lot, because I'm not buying this from a regular dealership, one of those places that has 100 cars in a 100-foot spot or whatever, so they pack them in there. But I found it online and it looked like a really good deal. So we're just kind of doing our due diligence. Obviously the guys there are gonna say, oh yeah, it works great and everything's fine with it, there's no problems. The good thing about this dealership is they let you test drive it and take it to a mechanic to check it out. You can also bring your mechanic there. We don't have any mechanics that we know in Dallas, so there's some things that they've got to check out for you to have at least some peace of mind. The hope is that if anything goes wrong with this truck, that I can't say, oh dang, we should have done this, or we should have done this, we could have avoided this, stuff like that. I want to minimize the level of stupidity in this decision. So the things that they're going to be checking out, the dashboard, which they're going to be looking at the odometer, making sure it hasn't been rolled or anything. And they're going to be looking for check engine lights, temperature gauge, stuff like that that you can actually visibly see on the dashboard when you're starting the car. Next is going to be like tires and suspension, making sure that the tires have enough life left on them, because you know tires are expensive too, and everyone's gonna have to buy tires at some point. But if you have to buy tires right after you buy a car, that might mean that it hasn't been kept up with as much as it should have been. And then also suspension, I have no idea like how that really works, so I guess they're just making sure that there's nothing wrong with the suspension with the leaf springs and the shocks and stuff. Next so loud out here. Next, they're going to be looking at the fluids in the engine. So, you know, they're going to be looking at your engine oil, which is the biggest one, making sure it's been changed regularly, which you can actually see on the Carfax report. So I really don't need to know how regular the oil has been changed. You're going to be checking the brake fluid, the coolant, radiator fluid, power steering fluid, windshield washer fluid, stuff like that. They're going to be checking the brakes because that's another one of the things that you have to keep up with the brakes and stuff. So if they're real worn out, then that could be a sign that the car just hasn't been taken care of. That includes the brake pads and the brake rotors. Next, they're going to be looking at the engine as a whole. So the cooling system, the belt, the air filter, ignition component, looking for leaks on the engine. They're going to be looking at your transmission, making sure that the shifting is smooth and there's no problems with that, because transmission issues are very expensive and you don't want to buy a transmission problem. They're going to be looking at the exhaust. I'm guessing they're probably going to be looking at emissions too, because just like a state inspection, they're probably going to make sure that this is okay for the environment. And if it won't pass a state inspection, then you shouldn't be buying it. They're going to be, you know, looking at the catalytic converters, the muffler, the tailpipe. This isn't a huge deal because this truck, if you're buying a truck for $20,000, it's going to have some dents, but they're going to be looking at the body, so dents and rust. But a big thing with rust is making sure that the frame doesn't have rust, because rusted frames can be very costly too. It's not even worth it really to replace the frame of a car. So next, they're gonna be looking at lights. Obviously you can get pulled over for lights, so if you're gonna get pulled over for your car, you either need to fix it fast or you shouldn't be buying it in the first place. That includes headlights, taillights, you know, turn signals, hazard lights. And then last, they should be looking at the AC, the HVAC, making sure the air conditioning and the heater work the way they're supposed to, because, you know, you don't want to be miserable driving whatever you're buying. Kind of the last thing that they're going to be looking at with us is, like I said before, or maybe my dad said this truck has a biofuel system with a CNG tank. I plan on taking that out, or at least doing something with it to where it takes up a lot of room in the bed right now. And I'm buying this vehicle, like a big deal about it is that it has an 8-foot bed, a long bed. And camping in a long bed's really nice because you have a lot more room. But if there's a huge, you know, 2-foot wide tank, well, no, it stretches throughout the whole bed, but it takes up 2 feet of the bed too. It makes it a short bed. It's gonna be, you know, a 6-foot bed now instead of an 8-foot bed. So making sure that the components of that kit are independent of themselves instead of being built into the engine, because if it's built into the engine, whenever you take it out, it's probably going to give you a check engine light, and check engine lights are not good for vehicles that you're trying to, you know, take on a year-long trip and be driving all the time in. So, you know, passing inspections is the first step. There's a lot of stuff that I've got to do to get this ready for the whole plan, but it's gonna be fun. I'm up for it. Kind of how I have gotten to this point, me and my parents have made this deal that I have to pay for half of the vehicle that I want. I'm having to pay a little bit over $10,000 for this, so it's not like I'm just being handed daddy's money and go pick out your truck, son, you know. I've done a lot of stuff to collect the money that I've got right now, from garage sailing and flipping stuff from garage sales on eBay. I've sold some sports cards that, you know, have made me a lot of money, and I'm lucky for those because those are not, you can't just find those and start selling them. And then last thing is, this summer I've had a construction job all summer, and that's why I haven't been posting at all, because I don't have any time. You know, I don't think I've really gotten a break from it yet, but Wednesday's my last day. Today's Friday. Yeah, that's about it. We're gonna go see if everything's checked out, and if so, we're going back to the place buying it. $10,000 gone.
How are you, sir? So we don't know anything, we're noobs.
Huh?
So we don't know anything, we're noobs.
Okay.
We've never, you know, purchased a truck before. So.
Yeah. What I see right now, you have oil pan, gasket leaking, and engine main seal leaking.
Okay.
So you have to drop the transmission to do that job.
Gotcha.
Okay. Then you have the
Right. The seats.
The engine thing, I don't know nothing about it.
Gotcha.
So I'm not sure if this is good idea to have that
Right.
or not.
Okay. So engine main seal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the seal between engine and transmission.
Okay.
Okay, and the oil pan gasket.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
two things.
And does that worry you? What do you think about that?
I just say it's going to cost you probably around 1,500 to 2,000 to fix that problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Get into there.
This loop right here.
Okay.
Alright?
Alright. Sad deal. You know, it's not quite over yet, but, you know, stuff like this. What does it even say? Rear main seal leak, an oil pan gasket leak. You know, $2,600 right out of the gate, right after buying a new vehicle. Not a good idea, dude. If you're gonna buy it, you better not have to spend much more money after. So, you know, it's part of the journey. You know, I wasn't expecting that the first vehicle we go look at is gonna be the one, but you know, it's hard to not get a little excited about it, you know, because you see yourself in it, and you see yourself doing stuff with it, you know. Because if you're not seeing yourself doing stuff with it, then why are you even trying to buy it, you know? So it's impossible to not get your hopes up, but you know, I'm glad that I kept an open mind during the whole thing, because you know, it's probably not going to work out. We're going to talk to the guys who own it, you know, and see if maybe they'll discount it for around that price so that we could get those things fixed. But I'm guessing if it's got problems, you don't need to buy it. So, but this is part of the deal, you know. Nothing you can say about it. Just gotta keep on looking. If y'all are fans of this whole gap year idea, if you want to support, my Venmo's right there. Actually, yeah, no, it's right there because I can put it in black, you know, and it's a light background right there. Yeah. So we're taking it back to the dealership right now, and I was just gonna ask, would it be worth us asking for like a discount on those prices and still buy it, or if it's just a bad idea in general to pursue it? You know, I don't know very much, but it wasn't a bunch of oil or anything, but I mean, Dad, what do you think?
Well, I mean, you could see oil there.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the oil there, but yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, it was a 09.
You gotta keep in mind that's not that abnormal for a car that ages some.
Yeah.
Now, to the point, you're gonna have to check your oil level every once in a while, but you would probably do that anyway. And maybe put some Ford oil in it once in a while. Now, if on the other side of that, if it's leaking, drops and sizable drops on the ground.
Right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Or can y'all get it fixed? You know?
Right. Yeah, if they were able to show us some receipt of it being fixed or something like that. No, go ahead. Do you have any other thoughts? Or what would Tony Lopez do in this situation?
So, basically the thing he was saying is, with a vehicle that old, that it's not abnormal for a tiny leak to be going on, you know? And he was just saying that you need to, if you're gonna buy it, you need to check on it, like check on the oil level, like very regularly.
Gotcha.
And you know, if it starts dripping, you know, like,
Sure, you're
then
using
it's
a lot of oil. Or
then it's something you need to
change.
But if it's
still going to cost you whenever that happens.
If it's sweating oil, then he just said just keep an eye on it.
What do you think about that?
Well, part of it is just that maybe maybe you don't buy as old of a vehicle, you know?
Yeah.
If that's a thing with older vehicles. Then,
Well, once the seal's replaced, it won't do that anymore, though.
yeah, but to do that, you have to spend $2,000, right?
Exactly. So, you know, like, that should be done to this truck, regardless if we buy it or not, whoever buys it.
Right.
They're either going to nurse it along, because that's what he's saying. It's just nurse it and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's either going to nurse it along or replace the seal. You know, spend the $2,000 to replace the seal. I mean, it's still a $20,000 truck, right? So
Right.
it's worth more than $2,000. So
Mhm.
it wouldn't be stupid to replace it. It's the smart thing to do, so you don't have to nurse it
Right.
all the time. But basically, we aren't going to. I think I hear us saying we're not going to buy it and nurse it along for a gap year. You know,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like,
they're just waiting for it to run out of oil because you know it's not sweating anymore. It's actually pouring. You know, and you're on a mountain somewhere or something like that.
yeah,
that can't work.
especially when it's your money. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you already had it, then it's a different story. But we don't. We haven't. We've
hadn't
put
purchased it.
We've put $125 into the thing. So
Yeah, I spent $10 in gas too.
okay. So we've spent $135 on it so far,
Yeah.
just to find out that
It's got a problem
it's got a problem. So it was well worth it.
for sure.
So, I think the plan is that when we get back, we're gonna show them our evidence, and we're gonna say, you know, obviously there's something here, and you know, we're not buyers if there's no discount or it doesn't get fixed. $20,000 isn't like a ton of money for a truck, but it's also a good amount of money, no matter what it is, you know.
Yeah.
So it better be worth buying if you're gonna buy it, you know.
It's a grown-up decision. That's a tough one.
Well, it's a big decision either way. I mean, because I'm counting on it. Whatever I buy, I'm counting on it holding up for another 2 years, and then putting some work into it for a good
Solid
9 months at
Yeah.
least.
We'll see what they say.
Yep, we will.
Hey, brother.
Sure.
We're back.
Welcome back. Man, thank you. We went and had it inspected. There's a couple of things that they're talking about. The rear main seal and the oil pan gasket both need to be replaced.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I have a cashier's check for it, but I'm not going to buy it with those things going on.
Come on,
So-
let's talk to my brother, sir.
Okay.
Because he knows more about it.
Got it. And it's not. Discounting those things or, you know, or them being fixed, and I'm not, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
selling the way it is. That's I can't spend anything. I paid too much for this truck. I challenge another 2 or 3 dealer to get it because no mileage, one owner truck. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you
You're
for.
welcome, guys. Thanks so much.
I know that was a pain that we took it a couple of times, but we.
It's alright. No
you know,
problem.
he's a young
I'm pretty
guy.
sure someone will buy it.
You know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But you know, he's going to be driving around the mountains and stuff like that. I'm like,
Right.
I can't have a problem whenever he's out by himself.
Just go buy a brand new, man. Wait.
I wish.
Just brand new 40K. You can pay it half and finance the remaining. And
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to deal with any of that.
yeah.
No, I get it.
All right,
Well,
guys.
thank you.
You're
Sorry
welcome,
about
boss.
that.
Thanks
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, it was good to meet you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice to meet you. Bye.
I hope you can tell that we did not end up buying that white truck. You know, hindsight is 20/20. That is definitely true in this situation. I was very excited about that truck, partially because it was the first truck that I have ever seriously looked at. I don't know, I felt kind of connected to it. Like I said before, if you don't see yourself in the vehicle, then why are you even trying to buy it? So, of course, I saw myself in that vehicle, and, you know, I had things that I had to do to it to get it ready, but God has other plans sometimes. I was kind of down after we decided on not buying it. I was frustrated because we had been looking for a very long time, and the used car market is not good right now, and so it's really tough. And I looked for a long time, and I was discouraged about it, but it all worked out, obviously. So take that into consideration too. Trust God throughout the process. I know it's just a car, and so y'all might think that I'm kind of overreacting about that, but that was a big deal to me. You know, I'd worked really hard to save up what I had, so it's really discouraging whenever it doesn't go your way. God has a plan for whatever you're going through. If it doesn't work out, keep your head down and keep on going, push through. That's what happened, and I'm so super stoked about what happened. There are definitely better things planned in the future, as you can tell. Stay tuned for the next episode because it's going to be a good one. It's not going to end the way this one did. So I think that's about it. It's a pretty view right now. I'm watching the sunset on the lake. I'll give you a quick glimpse here in a second. You know the drill. Go do some big time fishing. I'm small time fishing.